We are building a model railroad from scratch, and with every episode we add something to it. For today I've planned continuing with the houses and the substructures for the houses. But first I would like to add something to the last episode. You have mentioned something in the commentaries. Thank you very much for this. Hint by the way, I used this steam locomotive with the Telix coupling in the last episode. That means it can couple and uncouple automatically with it. And in the last episode, that did not really work. The locomotive is fine, but nothing is broken. I just did it wrong. Look here. I was using this button here to uncouple the wagon, and that's the button for this Telix coupling. But we have two couplings, and we do have more function for this locomotive. Here we have 8 functions for it, but this locomotive can do more. If we press the shift button here, we can use functions 8 to 15, and here are even more, 16 to 23. So we have a lot of functions, and the function that I needed was on the second page. So here is the button for the Telix coupling. You can operate them separately, one in the front and one in the back. So I wanted to correct it from the last episode. Shall we demonstrate it again? I guess not. So let's continue. But it works, I tried it. It's a locomotive with so many functions that they cannot be displayed all on one side of your mobile station. Let me show you one more time. If you press the shift button, you can look at all the functions. Right here, I have the functions 8 to 15. If I press again, you find numbers 16 to 23 and even 24 to 31. There are locomotives which have in total 32 functions. If you count 0 as well. So all kinds of different digital functions like steam, light and sound effects, this Telix coupling and many more. Alright, we put the steam locomotive aside. The ICE is waiting over there and we want to do some more landscaping in this episode. What I have prepared since the last episode are some extensions, as you can see here. Here I have built a bridge. I broke out this easy track system from Noch. This was glued on before. You can still see the hot glue. I broke out this part and instead I bought 2 curved ramps at the Märklin shop. Here you can see them. I took 2 of them and they have the same lengths as one of these 130 tracks. So track number 24 130. So one of these has the same lengths as one curved ramp. This way, I thought to myself, it might look nicer. Maybe you can see it better on the other camera. I glued a pillar to it, so the other ones will be hidden under the landscape, but this one here will be visible. That's why I bought pillars from Märklin. I actually bought too much. You can buy flat pieces and large pieces. And I combined them in a way that it fits in a matter of size. I took a big one and 3 flat pieces. I glued them with a plastic glue from Faller. After that, I positioned it under the ramp, and now I'm realizing that I forgot something. I did not attach the base plate. I could do that, it would look a lot nicer that way. Such a brown base plate. Now look, these base plates already do exist for so long that you can still find the old Märklin logo on them. That hasn't changed since your childhood. And we can attach one of them to this pillar. I did not do that, but that's okay. We will make up for it with landscape. We will have a road that goes under the bridge, so that's what has changed since the last episode. And I recovered one piece of wood, and I can use this at another position now. And I really can use that since I also want to have a road. For that purpose, I bought myself an underpass. That's the one I got. I even bought 2 of them. One for this side, that's where the cars will drive in, and one on the other side, they will exit on a higher altitude. And I glued that tight already. That's what I did with these 2 underpasses. And last time I showed you these great Honeycomb construction boards from Bush. They are really great. They are very stable and they are even stronger than this wood board. No way that you can bend that. And you get this together with these substructures. You can attach them firmly to the board. That's very nice. I did something different now. I took 2 of these substructures and glued them together with hot glue, like this, and that way I created a great sub-base plate. I glued such a board with hot glue to it. That way I created a very good foundation for this underpass. I think you can see that now. So later my road will lead down there. Now I have to take this ramp piece. I could glue it to this piece now with the hot glue. Then I could cut it to size to let my road either go down there or maybe go up, depending on what I want later on. And I am not quite sure yet. I can loosely place that there for now. I can use this package as a provisional pillar now. That could work. Let's have a look to the other camera. Now that's a possibility. Let's see. The system is still in progress. I will keep these for another bridge project in the future. I finished something else since the last time. I showed you this construction kit with these mesh-like construction pillars. I prepared that here. We have a lot of wood and some plastic. This wooden stick here can be cut to size with a crafting knife. Just take the piece and let the knife roll over the stick on a flat surface. Let me show you here. Take it like this and let it roll. Keep your fingers away from the blade and afterwards you can easily break the sticks apart. I cut pieces of wood sticks of different length. The shorter they are, the nicer it will look. That way you can build your mountain in a wrinkled fashion or your meadow will look very realistic. With the longer sticks you can build such a base plate. I made several of them, and between 2 such base plates I could glue a piece of wood. For example, my street road. I could glue it on there and on the other side. I could also do that on this side here, on both sides actually. That would give me more room for my small wood sticks. That would allow me to create a transition to other parts of the landscape. I prepared that already in a different position. You can see it here at the front. Let's take a look first. That way you can see it. I used a lot of these small wood pieces for creating a bracing here. Here you can see it in detail. Here they are leaning downwards, here on the side. I took a lot of the small wood sticks and combined them with all sorts of different interconnects that you can find here. Some of them you can interconnect with each other. Let me show you. You can connect this one and then you can connect it with a longer wood stick like this one. And now you could put the small one here and then you could glue that under the railroad system on this position and reach over to the side. That way we can create a very realistic embankment. I will glue that tight right now. That fits very good. You can glue them if you want to, but you don't have to. I will take a 3-way part. They are even better. Look here, we can connect a third one. That way it will be even more stable. Now connect them like this. Now let's see which way. I think that's looking nice. I'll glue that now. We can still move a little, glue it with some hot glue, and I'll fix that with a second wood stick so that I won't burn my fingers. Now press a little bit. This just takes a few seconds. Doing it like this is a very creative task, but it's nice. Doing it like this is a very creative task, but it is nice and fun. And you really get to see how the landscape is forming. I'll do like this, and I like how this is looking. Maybe like this. You can still move them a little bit, as you can see. That way you can move it in a way that it fits. We could also do it like this, creating a small bulge. You have to try it out a little and see what works. We will plant some bushes here. Now look, the glue didn't set yet. You have to see what looks nice. I'll try out something different. Maybe like this, diagonal. What do you say? Huh? And now we could attach a third brace reaching over there. That way we could fill that hole. And depending on how many you use, the more stable everything becomes. Later on, we will cover this with a special landscape paper. Something like this. Or we could use this wrinkle paper, this rock paper. But that might be too much rock for the train station area here. I'll try gluing one more time. A lot of glue, and now I press. And now we need some patience. I need to press a few more seconds. While I'm pressing, let me show you this area. Here I also used these honeycomb boards and I glued them here at the ground level. This would be a very nice spot for a stable tree or a phone booth at the platform, or maybe a telegraph house, or sometimes you can find such distribution boxes at the train station. We could do something like that. Maybe we will have someone waiting here or a small depot. Anyway, I glued that board here since we had some room left, and I prepared that as well. You will be able to see this in the other camera. And I have prepared a board right here. Alright, the glue has set. And this one I will glue here. You can glue this carton right on the wood and I will create an area around it. I can really recommend this material. These boards are very stable and if you don't want to use a saw, that's the right material for you. We have a great combination of this pre-cut wood and these honeycomb boards. And I have to think about this spot. Maybe put some ballast over it. I could compress it since this is a carton. That way it will look a little bit more realistic. Look, I can do some modeling already. It will look nicer that way. I guess we can do it that way. Very nice. We still have to do some gluing over here. I still have to see how we will do this. Maybe something like this. Let's glue this one more time. You can find everything you need for doing all of this yourself described in the links right under this video. Just click on the links and you will find the products on the manufacturer's websites. You can also ask questions in the commentaries if you like. We're also very happy if you share your inspiration with us. Maybe you have some ideas or build something like that. Maybe you have found other model railroads on YouTube. Feel free to share that with us. We will check the commentaries and answer the questions. While I'm crafting, I won't be able to do so live, but I will look at the commentaries afterwards and answer your questions, and the same goes for the Märklin team. They will also answer your questions. I have one more left. I will take one of these short ones. I will add this here to make it more stable. That way we create a very nice and stable surface. And that will be the foundation on which we can use plaster, landscaping crap, chicken wire or anything similar. That way we can fix the landscape and we can ensure that everything will be stable. You could also use paper mache, but this system is very handy. It is called Terraform. Alright, I will press some more. I can put this aside. I won't need it anymore. But I have something else planned. Last time I said that I want to plan where the houses should be. Which kind of houses, how many and where they should stand. I chose a model from Kibri. That's the one back here. That's the farm by Kibri. Somewhere should be the original packaging. I will show you how it looks when it's finished. That's what it will look like. I'll hold it into the other camera. That's what it will look like when everything is completely modeled with the grass, the ballast and the chicken and everything else. There is also a tractor. I want that one too. And I want to digital control that tractor to use all the light and sound effects. I haven't finished to build it completely, only half. I still have to glue a few more things, but then I'm almost ready. I put it there for a test. And I have decided that it will stay exactly there together with this ramp. That's a nice eye catcher if you look from this side. It is still very loose, I haven't glued it completely yet, and I also want to add interior lighting as well. That's a very nice model, but it still looks so way too new, so we have to age it some more with patination powder. We will do that in one of the next episodes. I will show you how this is done. So now that's the ramp, and here you can see that I have used the same basic principle. I took one of those honeycomb boards and added some of these pillars and braces. That way I created 3 feet for this board. I haven't built the 4th since I don't know where I want to put it, but I think that's a good spot. I have to check if the ICE will still be able to pass by. Looking good. The bumper might be a little bit too close. Back there we will have a building. I can do the following. I will take a pen and mark that. I draw a line from here to over there, and then I cut this piece out. Now I'm glad that I didn't glue everything tight. I can take them off, that's way easier to cut. I will do that right now. Make sure that you do any kind of cutting on a flat surface. I will do that right now. Please make sure that you do any kind of cutting on a flat surface. That way nothing can happen. Maybe you can use a cutting board. We don't have to be 100% exact here. We just don't want to have a sharp edge. That way it is easier to work with later and it will look nicer. I will be right back with you. These boards are very stable, so be careful when you cut it with a crafting knife. Watch out for your fingers. And if you build together with your children, cutting should always be done by the parents. It is much safer that way. I was in a hurry, I ripped the last part instead of cutting it, but it still fits. We need the big piece now, and that fits in here very nicely. I can attach the last foot now. Before I attach the last ones, I have to check the height we need. So I take one of these sticks that are still left, and now I cut it in the same length with my crafting knife. I don't know if you can see it now. I'll be right back. Look, all I do is slightly rolling over the stick with the knife. Don't use too much pressure. You don't have to cut through completely. At the end, you can simply break it apart like this. Now, well, not. I'm too impatient today. I'm always in a hurry, since you guys at YouTube are always so impatient. But you are probably sitting there calmly and watch me crafting. Alright, now I cut it to size. These two pillars have the same length. I press them into this plastic base plate from both sides. Now we attach them to the board, this one here and this one over there. Okay, I'll rip off this part, otherwise this will be stupid. Briefly, some facts about carton. I was asked before how and where you can use that. Well, if your model railroad is standing in the basement or in the attic, so places which are rather moist, then paper or carton is not optimal. On the other hand, my system is standing in the basement and everything is fine. Nothing broke so far, but there shouldn't be too much moisture, since it will be rough on the trains. In this case, wood and plastic might be the better choices. But if you want to work with wood, you need different types of tools. So that's an argument when it comes to crafting. Now, that's why I usually prefer carton. You can work fast with it. You can also use shipping boxes. That also works. So no reason to throw it into the trash. The model builder says there is no trash, only DIY material. You are always welcome to follow this philosophy and try to reuse as much material as possible. Okay, it looks a bit funny back there. I don't know if you can see that. That corner looks a bit strange, but we will have a mountain going up there, so we will leave it that way now. And now I will glue on these 4 boards. We will finish that now, but I might need more ammunition for my hot glue gun. Let's see if this is still enough. No, not enough. Perfect, I am handed another glue stick. Thank you. All right, let's have some glue all over that's supposed to hold. Now press it on. I have to watch out for my ring circuit wires. Okay, now we weight it down a little bit. Let's use this item here. Do we have something else? A Märklin cup and a glass. What else is heavy? Another Märklin cup with a glue container inside. That will hold. It's time to finish this house. I will do that until the next episode. I can decide now whether I will set up more houses or not. In the next step, we will start working with landscape crap. That's very handy to work with. Before, you would have used chicken wire or something similar, but now you can use this. You can wrinkle and form it in any way you want. This was included in this construction kit together with these sticks. That's strong craft crab if you have here. That's strong craft crab we have here. I will get my scissors now and we can cut this to size. And you usually don't use the whole sheet at once. I will cut this sheet into smaller pieces. Doesn't matter how you cut it, we will need it smaller now. Then it is easier to lay out. Now I use strips of about this size. I'll cut it roughly to size. I'll turn off the power on the system. I could lay it out like this, but that's way too flat. I would lose too much structure and all the work with the substructure would be wasted. That's why I cut even smaller strips, like this. And now I can place this here and press it onto this part. That way, this crab gets much more contour and structure. That will look much nicer. I will demonstrate that here. I glue the first strip on, here on the side, underneath the track. Do not glue it to the tracks. Later on, we also want to add some ballast. Press it on there. I will use this pen. Do not use the fingers. The glue is still very hot. We can add glue to the braces and also to the crab, and then we can press them together. And now we can check how this looks like. Looking good. Okay, as you can see, I am one brace short here. That hole is rather large. I can work over there, but we lose structure that way. That's not optimal. I suggest that we add one more stick. We will have some left. That way we can create a cross connection. I'll cut it to size. Now I add this cross connection and I will add one right here as well. Let's take some base plates and more sticks. I open up this connection. That's easy to open since I didn't glue it. Now I'll add such a connector piece. Now I can reconnect everything and we can cross connect this brace. Maybe down here it is slightly too long, but we can make that work. It's okay if they are a bit too long. I can add another one that runs diagonally across. That way I have a very stable scaffold. That's how we will do it. I will add more pieces since I want to have a wonderful landscape at the end. Start with this one and then this one next. I can fix this one already. This goes here. This one goes there. I'll glue it tight. Now hold it for a few seconds. In the meantime, we can check how long this one should be. Now that's too long. I could shorten it, but I'm too lazy. I will work around it and glue it to the position here. Alright, that fits, and this adds much more stability to it, since we can put the craft crab over here as well. Okay, I cut another strip. This one will be broader. I have to reach over to the other side. Now I will glue this on. I guess you can imagine how this will go on. I will overlay and decorate everything here so we can continue with the landscaping. Because the next step will be the use of filler. We want to fill this in to make it look like snow. It is time for the plaster. So that way it will look like white like a winter landscape. Maybe we still have some time to talk about some other things. We still want to add some illumination, which we can maybe turn on and off. That might be an idea. I'll see what I can think about until the next episode. Until then, take care, stay tuned, and have fun doing this yourself. Bye.